And it is now my great honor and pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker. Tiana Tozer was born in Eugene, Oregon, raised in Idaho, and has made Portland her home. She earned her BA in political science from the University of Oregon and her master's in international relations from the University of Illinois, where she played wheelchair basketball while working on her degree. In 2010, she was named University of Oregon's Outstanding Young Alumna. Her father is also a U of O alumnus with a PhD in history. Tiana has been a member of 5 national championship teams. As a member of the USA Women's Wheelchair Basketball Team, she competed in the 1992 Paralympics, where she helped her team bring home the silver medal. In 1996, at the Atlanta Games, she helped her team win bronze. She recently spent 5 years as a humanitarian aid worker in Iraq and Sudan. She is the author of Starbucks quote number 83. Look it up. And is currently writing a book. Now, before we hear from her, let's first meet her at age 22.
Basketball is the love of my life. I love watching the net swish after I nail a 17-footer. My game's off a little bit now. I was in a car accident a year ago. The driver of the other car had been drinking. I've had a lot of problems with my right leg, and sure, my desire to win is still real. But part of my leg isn't. If it doesn't work, they'll take it off.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Oregon urges you to call and find out more about the fight against drinking and driving.
I'm gonna walk. I'm going to walk.
Please join me in welcoming Tiana Tozer.
I told you I was going to walk. Now, it took 34 reconstructive surgeries and 4 years of physical therapy, but I can walk. Of course, I have to admit that duck walk almost killed me. I was worried you guys were all going to run over me because I was limping behind. You're probably wondering, why is Tiana Tozer our commencement speaker? You're probably wondering, who is Tiana Tozer? I'm nobody important. I'm not a U.S. cabinet member. I have never been the CEO of a company. Heck, I've never even held elected office. Well, that's not true. I was president of the Goat 4-H Club when I was 12 years old. I am just a U of O graduate, a member of your community, somebody who has always tried to do her best, somebody who has tried to contribute to the best of her ability. I'm just somebody who thinks that she can change the world. But I am also a member of your family. No, I'm not the result of one of your parents' youthful indiscretions. I am a member of your duck family. That's right. 25 years ago, after my mom had driven 8 hours from Boise to Eugene to be with me after I had been run over by an intoxicated driver, it was my U of O family that put her up in the dorms free of charge so that she could be with me as I recovered. It was my Spanish professor who came to the hospital after I was out of intensive care of her own volition to tutor me so that I could finish my sophomore year and return to school in the fall as a junior. And after I'd spent a month and 3 days in ICU and 3 months in the hospital that summer, I wrote a letter to the University of Oregon, and it went something to the effect of, you know, I've spent all summer in Eugene contributing to the economy. I respectfully request in-state tuition. They granted it to me. Now, this possibly gave me an overinflated sense of my persuasiveness and has led me to write numerous letters to the editor, which have ended up in the circular bin. But University of Oregon will always be more than a school to me. It is not just an institution of higher learning. University of Oregon is where my life was broadsided literally and figuratively, and where I received the encouragement, support, and when I needed it, the occasional swift kick in the butt to move forward, cope, go on, and succeed. You, as a student, soon-to-be alum, are part of this family. I thought a lot about what I was going to say to you. I actually agonized over it. I have never, ever before in my life thought so much about a speech. Of course, if more people thought about what they were going to say before they said it, there would not be so much drivel on the internet. I mean, seriously, have you read some of the comments? What can I say that might make a difference in your life? What can I say that might encourage you on this great adventure called life that you are about to embark on? Maybe nothing, but I've beaten the odds before. So I have 3 things that I want to tell you and 1 expectation that I have of you. So here goes nothing. That summer, after I spent 3 months in the hospital, I'd had approximately 16 to 20 surgeries, and I left the hospital in a wheelchair. And what was really, really interesting to me is now that there was something physically different about me, how people treated me differently. I'd be sitting there in my wheelchair, and people who were complete strangers would sidle up to me, and they'd be like, "You know, I had a knee injury once." I'd look at them, and I'd be like, "Oh, would you like to tell me about that?" It's really interesting how as human beings we have so much more in common than we have differences, and yet we all choose to focus on our differences. I've had some crazy things happen to me because people are trying to relate to my disability. I was waiting for the elevator one time, and I have spent a lot of time waiting for elevators. I was waiting for the elevator one time, and I was with my friend Tammy, and there was a woman next to us, and I could tell that I was making her uncomfortable. We got on the elevator, and the woman, I could tell that the question was coming. And the woman turns to me and she goes, "Is it true you get to park for free in downtown Portland with your disabled placard?" My friend Tammy's over in the corner trying not to laugh doing this. And I said, "Why, yes it is." And the woman turns to me and she says, "You are so lucky." Tammy's over in the corner. I'm worried she's going to burst her appendix. I look at the woman with a perfectly straight face and I say, "Why, yes, I am. It's one of the many perks of being disabled." It's interesting when there's something different about you, how people treat you differently. But this is what I want you to know. It doesn't matter what you look like. It does not matter if you are skinny or fat, if you are tall or short. It does not matter what color your skin is, what color your eyes are. The most important thing is who you are inside and the choices that you are making in this life. Now, at this point, I should probably tell you all that I threw out all of my Abercrombie and Fitch clothing. But I never owned any. I mean, seriously, who fits in that stuff? I think they use a 4-year-old as their fit model. And if any of you choose to be as shallow as that vainglorious twit of a CEO, I am kicking you out of the family. I can do that, right? Thank you. Can I also borrow the car? Okay, thank you. Look, I know that everything you see in the media, everything bombards you with this message that what you look like is important. It's not. Not at all. Pretty soon, Hollywood is going to have had so much plastic surgery that they will be able to film a House of Wax horror movie without any makeup artists. Now that is scary. It's not important what you look like. What's important is who you are here, and the choices that you're making in this life. When I was younger, I dreamed of an international career. And 23 years ago, when I sat where you are sitting today in my wheelchair, I didn't know if an international career was any longer within my reach. I mean, seriously, how many third world countries are wheelchair accessible? None. Europe isn't even very wheelchair accessible. But in 2007, 19 years after I thought that dream was dead, I was hired as a program manager in Iraq. Now, don't get me wrong, Iraq was never my dream. My dream was West Africa. But you know, when somebody opens the door an inch, you stick your foot in and you kick it as wide as it will go. I took over a program in Iraq that taught 10,000 women how to read and write. I was also tasked with starting a civil rights movement for people with disabilities, and I did. I may not be an important person, but I have made a difference in people's lives, and that is truly what I think is most important in this life. But I also want you to know that as I sat there in my wheelchair to receive my diploma, and I thought my dreams were dead and gone, that sometimes dreams come around again, and sometimes life gives you second chances. But most second chances that you receive in this life, you will make for yourself. Now, as I sat there, and my dream of international career was gone, I had no idea what the heck I was going to do and be when I grew up. Many of you may be in the same place. Don't worry, I am on my third rendition of what I want to be when I grow up. I majored in political science and Romance languages. And if you have a similar major, you are probably tired of people saying to you, "What the heck are you going to do with that?" Don't worry, you're smart. You'll figure it out. Thomas Henry Huxley said of education, perhaps the most valuable result of all education is the ability to make yourself do the thing you have to do when it ought to be done, whether you like it or not. Last year's commencement speaker told the class of 2012 that they might be screwed because of the economy. He and I have a very different definition of screwed, particularly after living overseas. Screwed is being in the shower in Sudan, Africa, when the civil war breaks out. Seriously. Screwed is getting out of the shower to find out that both your laptops and your phone are low on battery, the generator is broken, there is no shortwave radio, the car is parked at the office, and the emergency food has been locked in the spare room to keep the guards from eating it. And the housekeeper has taken the key with her. Screwed is not having access to education. Only 6.7% of the world's population has ever sat where you are sitting today. Screwed is being married at age 13 to a man who is 20 years older than you. It's living on less than $1 a day. It's losing both parents to AIDS. It's being displaced by the war in Abyei and realizing you are on your last day of food. You are an American. You have choices and opportunities that are not available to the rest of this world. Screwed is a matter of perspective. I was run over by a 3,000-pound vehicle. I've been in 3 war zones, and yet I am still here today. But if you ever do truly find yourself between a marauding army and a cliff, and your life is in shambles around you, I highly recommend you do what the Tozer family does. You hold on to hope for as long as possible, and when all hope is gone, you resort to laughter. It won't save you, but it will save your sanity. So when I was younger, not only did I dream of an international career, but I loved to play basketball. That's right. But I wasn't very good at basketball. We had 4 teams in junior high. We had an A, B, C, and D team. Does anyone want to guess what team I was on? C, very good. I was on the C team. I actually improved enough to make the varsity team. But as I was graduating, my high school basketball coach told me that I was never going to play college basketball. I went on to play college basketball at a Division III school, and then I transferred to University of Oregon, where I played rugby. I played wheelchair basketball for the University of Illinois. I won 5 national championships. I competed with 4 international teams. I helped the USA women's wheelchair basketball team bring home the silver medal from Barcelona and the bronze medal from Atlanta. This was all from a kid who was never going to play college basketball. I am the most decorated athlete my high school basketball coach ever coached. So you saw the commercial I made when I was 22. Does anyone want to guess how many takes it took before I could make that basket? 43. And I swear to you, the guy was like this. He was like, take 30. And the entire gym would hold their breath, and I'd go wheeling up, and I'd miss the basket, and the entire gym would be like, and the guy would be like, take 31. And I was going around, I was telling everybody, I'm going to make the Paralympic team. I'm going to be on the USA women's wheelchair basketball team. And they were looking at me like, yeah, not a snowball's chance in hell, kid. On May 14th, 1988, when I entered the hospital, I had lost so much blood that they had to transfuse my body 2.5 times. They told my mother that I probably would not live, that if I did live, that I probably wouldn't walk again, and that if I did walk, it wouldn't be on my own legs. But I am walking on my own 2 legs. Now, why do I tell you these stories? Because I want you to be impressed with my athletic accomplishments. No. I tell you these stories because what if I had believed my high school basketball coach? Do you think I would have gone on to do everything I did in basketball? Probably not. What if I believed I was never going to walk again? Do you think I would be standing in front of you today? Probably not. Attitude is a powerful thing. Don't let anyone place limitations on your life. Only you get to decide how far you are going to go in this life and what you are going to be and do when you grow up. Only you. I can't tell you how many times when I said things that I wanted to accomplish and people laughed at me or told me that I couldn't do it. And people may do the same thing to you. Don't listen to them. Don't let anyone place limitations on your life. Now, that being said, I don't walk because of a miracle. I walk because I don't have any spinal cord affect, and I endured 34 reconstructive surgeries and 4 years of physical torture. Therapy. Sorry, PTs. And I didn't make the Paralympic team because I had all this natural talent. I made the Paralympic team because I moved to Illinois to train under the best coach in the world, and I practiced 4 hours a day, 6 to 7 days a week. Dreams and goals are achievable through hard work and tenacity. Now, I am not the most talented person in this world, nor am I the smartest, but I assure you that I am the most tenacious. Our society has a tendency to measure success through money and things, and by that measurement, I am not very successful. I don't even own a car, and I maybe have 2 pairs of jeans. But I'm also not successful by my own measurement. For me, truly successful people are content. They live in the present. They find joy in the everyday drudgery that is life, because that's what life is. Life is standing in the line at the supermarket. It's being stuck in traffic. It's dealing with some idiot on the phone. I'm the person who has always said, I will be happy when I win a gold medal. I will be happy when I own a home. I will be happy when I fill in the blank. I'm the kid who has never quit asking that annoying question, are we there yet? But after I was extracted from the civil war in Sudan, I really thought about what I wanted to be and do when I grew up. And as cliche as it sounds, what I really want is I want to laugh more. I want to experience more joy. And I want to be happy. I want to not get torqued off because some self-important narcissist is texting and driving. I want to not be impatient when it takes more than 5 minutes to get my grande non-fat 2 Splenda latte. I believe happiness is about living in the present and that it can be a goal and a dream, but ultimately it is a choice. When all is said and done and people near the end of their lives, they don't sit around and go, gosh, I really wish I'd had more things. I wish I'd had 5 cars instead of 2. They don't say, I wish I had worked more. People regret not spending more time with their friends and family. They regret not living a life true to themselves. They regret not choosing to be happy. I am not going to have those regrets. So I told you I had 3 things to say to you and 1 expectation that I have of you. You're young. You have your entire lives ahead of you, and I feel so much potential and possibility in this room. It is overwhelming. I am so proud of you. But as a member of your global community, as your fellow American, and as a member of your duck family, I do have 1 expectation of you. I expect that whatever choices you make in this life, that you accept responsibility for those choices and the consequences of your actions. America has become a blame society. When our lives are around us in tatters and something goes wrong, we're always looking around for someone else to blame, when really most of the blame falls squarely on our shoulders. The only thing I expect of you is that whatever choices you make, and all of them are yours to make, that you accept responsibility for the consequences of your actions. Now, you are ducks! Fly high! And I hope you all choose wisely. Thank you.
Best commencement address I've ever heard. Thank you very much. Well, why don't we confer the degrees?